This is the Cancer Boss Method podcast, the place to be when cancer sucks and you don't want it to. I'm Leslie Nance, survivor, cancer coach, and healing mentor. Come learn the truth about what your role is in your own healing. No BS, just real strategies from a cancer coach who has been there, done that. And I'm talking about healing. Let me ask you something. And take a breath before you answer. When is the last time that you sat still with nothing to do and no one to answer to and nowhere to be? Not scrolling, not reading, not making a to-do list in your head, just being. When was the last time that you got quiet enough to hear your own inner wisdoms whispering back, to feel the hum of life within you, the truth of your energy source, whatever name that you give it, nudging you towards healing and away from cancer? Now take another breath, because for most of us, that kind of quiet feels foreign, if not totally impossible. But here's what I want you to know. Quieting your mind isn't a luxury. It's not a nice to have. It's a requirement for healing. Now, this isn't about meditating like a monk. This is about learning how to listen in instead of constantly reacting out. We're going to explore why creating quiet is so uncomfortable and why we as humans are absolute pros at resisting it. Because let's face it, the quiet brings us really face to face with ourselves, and that can feel scarier than a cancer diagnosis in some ways. And a lot of times we think, I don't have time, or this is weird, or I can't do it right. I don't want to feel what's in there. And yet, what if the thing that we're avoiding is the very place that our healing begins? So today, we're going to debunk the myth and shine a light on the resistance and uncover the beautiful, undeniable truth that a quiet mind doesn't mean an empty mind. It means a present one. And that kind of presence, that's where healing lives. So let's dive in. Before we talk about resistance, I want to give you one big reason to quiet your mind every single day. And not just because you're healing from cancer, but because you're asking more of yourself than you ever have before. The one simple reason is this. It sharpens your intuition. You guys that listen to my podcast and my clients are always complimenting me all the time. Leslie, how did you know I needed that? How did you know that? Your timing is perfect. Wow, that is exactly what I needed to hear today. And can I tell you that that's not luck? It's not even a spiritual download. It is a sharpened intuition. One of my clients, Lucy, she calls it my antennas. And I tune into my antennas every single day by quieting my mind. So let's talk about what sharpens intuition and what it actually does for you. And there are 5 healing reasons that a quiet mind is really capable of sharpening your intuition. So first off, it helps you recognize the true voice inside of you. A noisy mind is full of fear, it's full of doubt, it's full of overwhelm. And a quiet mind lets your intuition rise to the top, to be heard. That inner voice that tells you what's right for you. Treatment decisions, nourishment, rest, even play, you get really clear on all of it. Number 2, it builds confidence in your decision. You stop second guessing. You stop needing everyone else's opinion and you stay on your path. You stop being a 24-hour cancer patient and you start being a woman on a healing journey. Number 3, it tunes you into what your body is saying. Your body is always speaking, but if your mind is busy, you miss the cues. And the quiet lets you catch stress and imbalance and misalignments before they start screaming at you and wreaking havoc in your body. You'll understand when to rest, when to eat, how to eat, to cry, to take action, and to trust it. Number 4 is that it creates a direct line to your energy source. God, the universe, spirit, nature, Holy Spirit, whatever your belief is, the quiet is how we plug into wisdom beyond logic. When I'm meditating, I often say to myself, I'm ready for my download, because healing isn't just physical, it's energetic. And your intuition becomes a spiritual support system that fear can't shake at that point. Number 5, it separates fantasy from aligned action. Intuition doesn't predict the future. It can't. Nobody can. It roots you in the now. In the quiet, you stop waiting for healing to just show up. And instead, you're taking action to your next step. Healing is not magical thinking. It's a grounded movement. And intuition makes your path personal and powerful and doable. And let's be honest, if I could bottle up all the benefits of a quiet mind and I sold it as a supplement, you would take it every single day. So what happens? Why do we resist something so powerful? If it has that much powerful potential, why do we resist it? So let's talk about those reasons. And then let's lovingly poke some holes in them. This is not about blame or guilt. I want you to shift out of that narrative into curiosity right now. So the first one is, I don't have time. Well, you have time for scrolling. You have time for stress. You have time for worry. You don't have time. You just don't value this yet. But what else in 10 minutes gives you as much peace and clarity as slowing down your mind? The answer? Nothing. How about it's hokum? Science totally disagrees with you, by the way. Mindfulness reduces stress hormones, it boosts immunity, and it supports a superior cancer outcomes. And this isn't just fairy dust. This is neuroscience. This is energy regulation in the body. A lot of times people are afraid of what they'll find in the silence, and that's real. But whatever you're trying to avoid is already living in you. And meeting it in the quiet doesn't make it louder. It helps it go away. It steals its power. How about, I can't sit still, my mind won't stop? Perfect. Then you need this the most. Stillness doesn't require sitting cross-legged with sage and patchouli, unless you love that, and then it means that. It requires presence, and that's it. I hear people say that I feel silly and I don't know what I'm doing. I'll tell you what's silly is believing that you need to start out as an expert, because no one starts out as an expert at anything. Healing is not about looking cool. It's about doing what works, and this works. Here's another one. I can't turn off my thoughts. Good. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to learn to notice them without being ruled by them. And that's the win that we find in the quiet. I also hear, I tried it once and it didn't work. You don't get fit from one setup. You don't get fit from going to the gym once. Quieting your mind is a practice. It's not a performance. What about if you're not spiritual? Cool. Quieting the mind doesn't require a belief system. It requires self-respect, and that's it. It's just not me. That's what we say about anything that we haven't tried long enough to get good at. Don't limit your healing to things that are just simply familiar to yourself. And then the last one that I hear is it conflicts with my religious beliefs. Quieting your mind is not religious. It's stillness. It's space. And for many, it brings a much deeper connection to their faith and not conflict. So if you've ever thought, this isn't for me, know that this resistance doesn't mean it's wrong. It means that something powerful is trying to get your attention. Quiet is where the truth lives. And the truth, especially the kind that heals, asks you to show up and to listen. So now that we've cracked open the why, let's talk about the how. Let's talk about tools for the quiet mind that actually fit into your life. Now, you don't need incense or pyramids or hours of silence. You can if you want, but you don't need them. You just need a few minutes. You need a few minutes every single day consistently. And here's some ways to bring quiet into your day. The first one is the big fat obvious one, which is meditation. Sit, breathe, notice. No more, no less. Easy. How about prayer? Speak. Say your prayer and then listen. A spiritual or a sacred reading, something that inspires you. Read one verse and then stop. Sit quietly and let it soak in. Take a walk in nature without headphones. Let nature be your soundtrack. Listen to the birds. Listen to your feet on the path. Listen to things crunching underneath your feet. Listen to the wind. Take out your headphones. Go for a walk. Quiet your mind. Gardening. Let earth do her work on you. You're making it beautiful. Your hands are in the dirt. You're connecting to our planet. Do it without headphones. Just sit, listen, observe. Be quiet. You can use stretching or gentle yoga. This is one of my favorite. My personal practice is I do 20 minutes of yoga, and then I have about 45 minutes of meditation. This is a new practice for me. I just started this. I combine the movement with my meditation, and it's been phenomenal. In fact, this podcast has come out of that work. So move, breathe, stretch. You don't need an hour of hot yoga to get a benefit from a quiet mind. You can do it for 5 minutes with some simple stretching. You can use frequency music, and you might be thinking, well, that's not quiet, but healing tones actually help calm your system. You can use journaling. My favorite is stream of consciousness journaling, where you just sit down with a pen and you just start writing. Whatever comes out of your brain, you just write, whether it makes sense or not. Let your inner world spill out onto a page. You can do some breath work, simple box breathing. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. Feel the shift. You can also use creative expression. So no distractions, just you and your hands moving, painting, creating, writing, whatever it is, whatever makes sense to you. Just let your thoughts and your emotions pour out in some form. And each of these tools is a doorway. So just pick one and show up, even if it's for 5 minutes, just shifting everything to the quiet, even if your hands are busy. So let's bring all this home. You don't need another supplement. You don't need another protocol. You don't need another perfect plan. You need the wisest, clearest, most grounded version of you. And she's already in there. She's waiting for you in the quiet. Healing isn't something that you find. It's something that you remember. It's something that comes brilliantly to you as your mind is still and quiet. It's the breath that you take, the moment that you pause. It's in the whisper that says, I know what I need. A quiet mind is the foundation. It is the space where fear dissolves and clarity arrives, where self-trust is built brick by brick. Here's the thing, no one can do this for you, but the great news is no one can take it from you either. And you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be doing it right. You just have to show up, even for 5 minutes. That's how we become the version of ourselves who can truly heal. So as we close this podcast today, I want you to ask yourself, what happens if I start trusting the silence more than the noise? And how might my healing change when I remember that I am the most powerful medicine that I have and that it's already inside of me? So pick one of the quieting practices, just one, and commit to it for the next 7 days, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Meet yourself there. Let the healing begin. You're doing amazing, friends, and I'm proud of you, and I'm with you always. If you have enjoyed this episode, it's time to connect. Make sure you follow this podcast and check out all the socials on anystagecancer.com. If you're ready to talk about your own healing using the Cancer Boss method, then click the link below this episode. Hey, and remember, cancer's not your destiny. Okay, I'm outie.